All right, looks like it's live. We'll just wait for the actual feed to kick in on the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Is it showing up for you guys?
The video is not showing up, but people in the chat are saying hi.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
It's there now.
Okay, it's there.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll get started. So welcome everybody. This is the 16th episode of Team SCS Talks. Today we'll be talking about three blind, but also I guess big blind and M blind if we want to do that. Today I have two special guests, Jeff and Neil. So we'll start with Jeff. So Jeff, my first question for you. What is the most recent alg that you optimized?
That was a while ago, but it'll have to be this RUE alg for UFUB RD.
UFUBRD?
What's the question? Sorry, it cut out.
Oh, I said, what's the most recent alg you optimized?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just type it in the chat.
Yeah, okay, go for it. And Neil, what about you?
I haven't done a lot of cubing since math, so it'll probably be like at max. Let me think.
Yeah.
Anthony says hi. We say hi back, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
Mr. Padarakis too.
I can't think of one because all of this would have been done before now, so I haven't done anything since now.
So I was deciding between those two algs.
Well, let's see the chat. So U prime. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. I've never thought about that before.
Which one did you pick?
And the first one, because it's like your middle finger is already in the position to do a new move, but you would have to regrip everything.
Yeah, I agree there. The first one's definitely like optimal, but I still do the second because I'm less stable on the first.
Okay, Gianfranco asked me that same question that Gian asked, and I responded with the same thing because I haven't optimized anything since then. Alright.
Okay, so that will do some more formal introductions. So Jeff is the current world record holder for three blind mean and single, held 3 world records and 2 NARs in total. Current U.S. national three blind champion. So tell us a bit about yourself, how old you are, what you do, when you started cubing, that type of stuff.
So I'm 16. I started cubing in October of 2014, but I didn't really get into blind until about a year later when I saw some other people do it.
So that means I actually started blind before you. That's crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, like when I went to my first competition, there was blind there, and I just saw people being able to do it. So that just made me want to learn. But at the time, I didn't even know PLL. So it took me a while. Like I tried once, and then I gave up, and then I tried again, and then I got it. And my favorite competition moment would definitely be the 19 NAR, just because it was the most unexpected thing ever.
And that was your first one, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like it'll probably be the most unexpected thing to ever happen to me ever. Like
what did you average back then?
Like 35.
Oh, what the heck? And you got a 19?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
like okay, like if you see the video, you see me on the first solve get a 30.7, right?
Like, why don't I remember this? When was this?
Yeah, but like the NAR single was the second solve. On the first solve, I got a 30.7, and you can see me acting really happy about that because that was my comp PB or PR. Like yeah, like you can see me acting really happy about that. So you can just imagine what happened when I got a 19. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw the 30.7 right now. Let's fast forward. I don't think I saw this.
Yeah, it's on the video. And yeah, definitely a lot of funny moments.
Yeah, that's great.
From that. And yeah, but definitely like just the previous 2 nationals have been my favorite competitions just because I got to like meet everyone.
Yeah, nationals.
did something happen?
Yeah, I think so.
11th for multi with 28 out of 29, and 14th in three blind with a 20 single. So I'll just get you to talk a bit about yourself, same type of stuff as Jeff.
Yeah, sure. So, hi, I'm Neil. I'm 17. I started cubing in like December 2015.
Oh wow, that's so recent.
Yeah, and then I started blind like February 2016, and then I got into it a lot February 2017.
Jeez, that's pretty fast improvement, like every blinder ever. All right, and then do you have any like funny competition moments or stories, or your favorite comps or anything like that?
Let's see. Favorite comp memory is probably the second NAR I got, because that was second in the world and like
That was the
second,
159.
yeah, second person to sub 2.
Yeah, cool. So I'll just look through the chat and see if anyone's asking anything interesting. Is he Keon? I am Keon. That is correct. Not much else going on over there. Guys, I'm getting less interested in cubing. What do I do? You guys got anything to say about that?
I mean, if you're less interested, just take a break and then
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
back later.
that's what I do, and then I just like get really into it when I come back.
Yeah.
I'm at that point right now, to be honest. So it's okay.
All right, so we can move on now to talk about the first topic, which is starting out and what methods people should use. So most people say to use Noah Arthur's tutorial because that's the one that's been around forever and it's really in depth. But are there any other tutorials that you guys would recommend over that one?
Definitely J-perms.
Yeah?
Yeah, J-perms.
J-perms for old Bachman, yeah, for sure. But I think we were thinking about Ishan mentioned something about UFUFR old Bachman. So if that could like logistically work out, I was thinking about like this winter break. I wanted to make a tutorial on that. That would probably be the best beginner.
Yeah, that would be really useful.
Because you'd start,
For sure.
it would still be old Bachman, and you'd still start with the best buffers.
Exactly. But I haven't seen JPerm's tutorial actually. So is it still LDF?
Yeah, it's DFUBL. I mean, sorry. It's old Bachman, so you are UBL.
You are UBL, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I definitely think someone should make that UFUFR tutorial for Old Puckman.
The thing is, UF old Bachman isn't that straightforward because it's not immediately clear like what PLL you're gonna do unless you just do U prime T prime U, which is kind of weird.
Or like F perm.
Oh no.
That would be so bad.
That would be, let's see. The thing is, it would be tricky. The thing about UR old Bachman is that UL is just like the other pieces involved in the T firm are like far away from UL, so it's easy to set stuff up to there without messing up the other three.
Yeah.
With
I see
an
what you
F
mean.
firm, you have to set up to UB, and there's already stuff that you need to preserve on UF, UBR, and UFR. So that's not easy.
Yeah, true. You'd have to use a lot of slices.
Yeah, I think U prime, and then just like T prime stuff, like UR old Bachman, just U prime, just with UF, and then doing a U prime might be the best. But still feels kind of weird because it's basically UR old Bachman just with UF, and you're doing a bunch of U prime U's.
Yeah, for sure. But like, it's kind of weird because no matter what you do, you can't end up with like an ideal beginner method because either you're going to be doing inefficient Old Puckman with like weird AUFs, or you're going to start with weird buffers.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could learn turbo, but I mean that's pretty hard to learn as a first method.
Yeah. What about like M2 starting from UF?
I mean, that exists,
that?
but there's no good tutorials for that. And
wait, that wouldn't be too bad, right?
I mean, but there's no resources for that.
It would just be
you'd
the
have to
same as
insert into DB, which is the problem.
Like right now, there's nothing wrong with just doing standard M2 OP as your starting method.
Yeah, and then moving on from there for improving, would you say like just whatever someone wants to do blind, they should just like switch
Like,
buffers and learn comms?
like definitely using a UF buffer edge method is better, but UBL like corner buffer doesn't really matter that much because UBL and UFR, I mean they're not too different. Like UFR parity really sucks. It kind of offsets the comms a bit.
Okay, so I guess we can talk more about buffers specifically later on,
Yeah.
but more in terms of like someone getting started. Obviously, we would want them to learn like letter pairs and good
Yeah.
memo techniques.
Yeah, for sure.
And then something else I was wondering, do you think it matters for like the order you solve in memo pieces? Because like everybody does corners, edges, edges, corners, but then there's Gianfranco.
Yeah.
I'd say it doesn't matter until you get to like 2021 global,
Yeah.
because then you start doing weird stuff.
I don't think it really matters that much. Like, but even at those speeds, like it doesn't matter too much. But I think edges, corners, edges has some advantages, but those only matter if you do like full parity and stuff like that.
I see. So like in terms of the parity specifically, how different would it be between like the different order?
Like, I'm not really sure, but like you can really only do edges, corners, edges if you do full parity.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah.
Unless you do, you can do like a kind of like the UL-UB swap, but just do it with corners, like swap UBR and UFR, and then just learn the algs. I think Riley Wu does that, where he just swaps those two corners, and then he knows all the algs for DF +1 and UFR UBR. So it's basically like just UL-UB
Same thing,
swap.
but just with yeah, I see what you mean.
The algs don't look too bad for that, from what Riley uses.
Like the standard North American order of just corners, edges, corners is just fine.
Yeah.
All right. And then other than that, there's not much to say about beginner blind. Can you guys think of anything?
Just practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like getting your like lettering scheme down, developing like letter pairs, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But for a letter scheme, definitely don't letter your buffer so that you can have access to just good letters like A.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, optimize a letter scheme for sure.
Yeah. And then for letter pairs, do you guys have any like tips on how to like make your letter pairs memorable?
Tom Nelson has a really good doc. I'm gonna link it in the chat. Hang on.
I mean, the way I did it was just I did so many solves. Eventually, I just knew what letter pairs I had, but that's not really ideal. Definitely, you should have like just do what Max did and have just one syllable images.
Yeah, that seems to be pretty good. Don't want to like clutter your mind with a lot of big words.
Yeah, like I don't like I still have a lot of letter pairs that are just way too long. But yeah, definitely just keep in mind how long your words are for your letter pairs. It's good to make a list of all the letter pairs there are, and then just keep practicing it. That way, because your letter pairs don't ever change. Like when you start blind, that's the only thing that will never ever change, no matter how much you improve. So
unless you switch a buffer,
try to nail it the first time.
Okay, I think I sent the link to the chat. Hopefully it works out.
All right. So yeah, take a look at that if you guys can see it. And there's some questions in the chat. So how do you guys practice learning comms while in school or having a busy schedule?
The only times I've practiced is when I wasn't busy, but I mean, like even just learning one comm a day, that's still pretty good. Because you don't need that much time. If you can just find a little bit of time just to mindlessly drill it, like that takes a lot of dedication. Like even just to keep doing it, even though it's really slow, and it's really frustrating sometimes because you don't get the finger trick quite right. But I mean, there's nothing else you can do other than just drilling it.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't let me post links in the chat, so I can't.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe send it to me later and then I'll put it there. Or we can like comment it on the video after.
Oh, can you add it to the description right now?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, I can do that.
I'll message it to you.
Yeah. And then Neil, any thoughts on practicing comms while having a busy schedule?
Yeah, just like take a cube with you, just do comms. What's the thing? Yeah, just do like time attacks for like if you're doing DF, just DF to UB to XY, just time attack all of those comms.
yeah, and at this point, there are so many resources with good algs that like that part of the issue isn't an issue anymore. Now it's
Right.
just going through the list and drilling everything. Like that's basically all the work you have to do in order to learn freestyle.
Right. Yeah, it used to be you had to find good comms, then learn them. Now you just have to learn them.
Yeah. And in order to learn them, well, you definitely understand comms intuitively, and just know that once, I mean, the first comms that you learn are definitely going to be the hardest, but then after that, then learning new comms becomes really easy because you already know some.
Yeah. Jeff, did you switch to the Volk?
No, I switched to the GTS3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it magnetic or?
And the non-magnetic.
Nice. I'm just looking at the chat. How old is Jeff? He said he is 16. So wait, does that mean you're in, how do you do math? 11th grade?
Yeah.
And then Neil, you're in 12th?
Yeah, I'm a senior now.
For the longest time, Neil, I thought you were like 22. I don't know why.
That's weird.
Yeah. Okay, and then last couple of things I want to ask about methods. So other than like old Pachman, a lot of people start talking about like Turbo, M2, I don't know, Orozco. What do you guys think about those like kind of intermediate methods?
I think Orozco is like objectively the best way to transition into three style.
Definitely.
But not sure about its merits as a beginner method.
Yeah,
I think
like Orozco would be really hard to learn as a beginner method.
yeah. So I think the best thing is someone should figure out how UF Old Bachman works, and then make a UF UFR Old Bachman tutorial.
Yeah.
That would be probably the best beginner method. And then after that, Turbo with UF UFR, and then just freestyle with UF UFR. That's probably the best progression.
Yeah, I think Turbo's pretty underrated. Like when I was using Turbo, I used it for like a year. But then when I started learning edge comms, it was pretty easy to like start mixing in edge comms while still doing Turbo.
Yeah.
And I think Mascout did that for a while too.
Yeah, Turbo should definitely be.
I think everyone does that with M2 also. When they when they know some edge comms, they just
exactly.
the con they know to just do it.
I think just doing something like learning OP and then learning Turbo is pretty good. Just like learning OP just for the sake of understanding blind, and then switching to Turbo once you get it.
Yeah, and then an intermediate method already. Yeah, okay. So we're basically done with methods and such. So basically just start out old Pachman, and then go to Turbo, and then try to get your buffers where they need to be, and just go away with comms and yeah, practice those. So now move on to practicing and improving specifically. So do you guys have any like overall general tips for like what to work on at each stage? So maybe like someone's like 1:30 or 2 minutes. What would you think is the most important thing for them to improve at that stage?
I mean,
it depends a lot on what their splits are.
Yeah.
Because when that was me, I was like, really slow memo and like rushing exec. So at 1:30, I was probably like 1 minute memo, 30-second execution.
Oh my god, that's like I still have 30-second execution right now.
Actually, at 1:30, I was like 30 memo, 1 minute exec.
Yeah, I really hated the feeling of like being an exec and like forgetting my memo. So I just like made sure that never happened, which means my memo was super slow. It wasn't until I was like maybe like 28 global that I like learned how to rush memo.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it just rushing memo is, I guess, is one of the most important things that you can do to improve memo speed. Like, even if you're like just cutting out review time and then just only going over your cube once, like that's something you can do. And even if that seems like it's impossible and you consistently get 0% accuracy, I mean that's the most effective way to improve.
Yeah, at least you're pushing yourself at that point.
Right. I think Jeff's way is better than my way because I still have like when Jeff gets an easy scramble, he can because he's like so used to rushing, he can get five memo. Whereas my memo is like a lot more consistent, even on easy scrambles. Like I think at around maths, which is like around my peak, since I haven't practiced since then. I think my memo is about 9, maybe like 8.7, and then on easy scrambles I'd get like mid 7. So
Oh wow,
not
so not that much
not
better.
yeah, not
But
a lot of
it's
variance there. Whereas Jeff, because he's just rushed the whole time, you can get like 5s on easy scrambles.
but I mean, if you feel that like it's rushing is just completely impossible, then at least the best thing you can do is try not to review. Like you know that even if you're pretty sure that you're going to forget, like then just slow down your tracing and try to pick everything up on the first go.
By
Right.
review, by
Slow down your
trying.
trace.
Oh, sorry. By trying not to review, do you mean like not going through the whole cube again, or not repeating it at all?
Like once you finish tracing, then you should just put down the blindfold.
Oh yeah.
So like
Because like
if it's
one thing I know a lot of people that I think helps a lot of people is once they're done tracing, say they're doing corners first, instead of like reviewing the whole cube, you can just like say the sentence in your head like twice and then move on.
I mean,
it's
like
best to say it like 0 times. But yeah,
0 times?
yeah.
it's best to. I mean, actually, yeah, I understand because like reviewing it 0 times is only possible when you get so fast that you can't actually forget faster than like your solving time.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're at like 1 minute 30 seconds, yeah, doing that is fine. Just because it just builds your attention a little bit.
Right. If you
But
it's fine to do that. Just work on like bringing down the number of times you review until
yeah,
eventually you're at 0. And if it's
Yeah.
hard to do like no review, slow down your tracing, but
yeah.
still only go through it once.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
All right.
because yeah, when you get to just really fast memo times, at that point your memo speed is your tracing speed, and
Right.
yeah, but definitely like doing the same thing for a slower time is not possible. So just yeah,
Also,
the
this
best
is
thing you can do is
uh, this is a more advanced concept, but I feel like the earlier you start doing it, the better. Start doing like 2-color recognition for corners, so you never have to look at the back face. So you can always just figure out what the corner is from two colors. That's definitely really important. I like subconsciously started doing that, but like other people have like trouble doing that. And looking at the back face, like that can maybe take half a second. And when you average 20
yeah.
seconds, that's like a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I think
Like
there's also have you guys seen the trainer for 2-color recognition?
Yeah, the F2L one, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I don't know where it is, but
Yeah.
that's probably really good too.
that, yeah, 2 color will definitely be easier for people who are strong in 3x3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but yeah, like looking at B face is actually it's so slow. Like for 2 of my 17s, I was able to get sub 7 memo, but only because I didn't have to trace the BD edge.
Oh wow.
Like because BD is just the absolute worst edge to trace because like you have to look at the whole thing.
Was
Yeah,
it
that's just
solved?
terrible.
Like just me not having to trace that piece
Yeah,
actually
it was
saves me
solved.
so much time.
So it was solved on both?
Yeah,
Oh wow. Wait, how many 17s do you have?
4.
Holy crap, I didn't know that. I thought it was
Yeah,
like 3 or 2.
that's another thing. Like if you that's like you should start getting the instinct for if you have once you have 10 edges and you didn't cycle break, you're done. You don't need to look
Yeah.
for solved edge. You're done. And then stuff like that. Once you know that, then you're just gonna start knowing how much stuff you have left. Like if you come to 10 and then you land on the other side of your buffer, you have a flipped edge.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just like, whenever that happens to me, I like don't look for the flipped edge. Just put down the blindfold, and then like somehow I'm able
Figure
to
it out
figure
in
it
the
out.
middle of execution.
Yeah, just from like where I didn't trace.
Yeah.
And also sometimes during tracing, I'll notice it as I go from one edge to another. So like it's never like I'm looking for something at the end. Either I like know where
Yeah.
it is, or I like see it in the middle of tracing.
But developing that sense mostly just comes down to practice. I don't think
Right.
it's really anything that you can just actively
Like force yourself to do.
Yeah, like you shouldn't actually concern yourself with developing that skill. It's something that will build naturally.
Yeah,
Alright.
that will come naturally.
So I think like memo for most people is pretty intuitive to improve. You just like push it and learn it
Yeah.
faster, and then you're able to find pieces faster, trace faster. So let's talk a bit about like execution. So starting from beginner all the way to advanced, how do you guys recommend like working on drilling comms and doing things faster, faster recall?
Okay, this applies in general, not just for freestyle, but I think blind, because the move count, like for every method, just tends to be really high. One of the most important things is transitions. Like eliminating transitions is one of the most important things.
Yeah, one thing not a lot of people realize, slow turning is like actually overpowered. Like I thought that was for like, if you want to be sub 20 on 3x3, but in the last few months, like my comp turning was just really, really bad. And I just started like slow turning, like literally that speed, and then started getting like my normal times again. Just like turn fluidly without locking up, and then it'll just work.
Yeah, just do that no Arthur style. And then do you guys have any like specific like drills? I don't know, like sighted solves, edges only solves. Like what kind of drills would you recommend to
Jacob
prove that type
Posner
of thing?
has a freestyle learning program.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's really good. It's based off of spaced repetition, so that way you'll just remember your comms better.
That's like ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Like it's so helpful when you're first learning three style. I can send you the link and you can add it to the description later, maybe.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
You do have to put in your list though.
Oh, you have to like type in everything?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want to do that, basically the idea is it gives you a letter pair, and then you do the column hit space. It gives you another one, and it times you for each letter pair, so you can see which ones you're like slow on.
Yeah.
And then one feature is like if you forget it, you can like hit tab, and it'll show you the column.
Oh, okay, I see.
So yeah, that's the only reason you need to type in your list. Otherwise, if you don't like want that, because you can just look at your column list, right? You don't need the
Exactly.
program to do it. So you can save some work, and instead of inputting the column list, just type like AB equals AC equals AD equals. Just leave the rest blank,
Yeah.
and then it'll still give you the letter pairs, and it won't know what your alg is, obviously, but it saves you a lot of time if you just want to drill, basically.
Now, I haven't actually used it that intensely, but yeah, it is very effective.
All right. Other than that, do you guys like have you guys had a lot of improvement from like sighted solves or I don't know, like edges only, corners only? Because I know when I was doing when I was switching to freestyle for edges, I was always like my solves were super choppy, and I would always have like 1 to 2 second solves between algs. But then once I started doing edges only solves, I was able to like develop fluidity there.
Edges only solves are really, really, really good for learning how to rush audio memo.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of like how I learned to rush finally, where just doing a bunch of edges only, because that's like you really push yourself to just not review, just trace, say the audio, and then put on the blindfold. That's really good, and then obviously, yeah, it'll help you drill your edge comms too.
Oh, he has to post Jacob Posner's the program.
Yeah, so you can't post links into the chat. So Keon, I messaged you both of the links. So if you want to add them to just
I added the thing. What's it called? The letter pairs.
okay, and then I
I'll
also
go find the
messaged you.
thing. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Someone asked, is there a way to improve memo when you're not on a cube? So I assume that means like when you don't have a cube. Is there any way to improve memo?
Jacob's program, actually has a feature like that where you do it'll like you hit space and it'll give you the next pair. So basically it gives you a scramble and then it figures out what your memo should be, and then you just keep hitting space and it'll give you the next pair. So you can like practice memo on that. I haven't done too much with that. I don't know how useful it is, but I mean that's probably, if you don't have a cube, that's probably your next best thing.
Personally, I would recommend that you don't do too much of no cube memo practice, just because tracing is also very important.
Part of it, yeah.
And like tracing and memo, they go hand in hand. So like you shouldn't rely on that exclusively.
I think the only practice you can do without a cube is like trying to remember how to do comms.
Right. Oh, also one thing that make a letter, or you don't have to, but I think I made a letter pair list. Whenever I'm just like not on my cube, just go through that, add new stuff, revise my letter pairs. That's also really good, because for blind, I or even for multi, I just never really optimize my letter pairs. I still use really bad stuff that overlap, where like two pairs have the same image. So I've been working on that since I haven't been practicing as much. I've been working on letter pairs.
Okay. Let's see. You guys anything else do you guys have anything else to say in terms of like practice techniques, or we basically covered everything?
Just spam solve.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of people that just get really concerned about the optimal path for good improvement. I mean, but no one has ever learned the same way. And really, as long as you just do the right things in the end, like the way you improve really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I actually
That's a
agree
really
with
good
that.
way of putting it. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it.
Like, because I see a few people who just stop improving just because they're so hesitant to keep going on because they're afraid they might do the wrong thing. But
Right.
like, it's important that you just keep going and don't worry about whether you're doing something right or not.
Yeah, the reason it's so crucial to like learn optimal stuff now is so you don't have to later, but it's always possible to do it later, even if you don't do it now. It's just more work. So it's fine if you're just like not sure about something, just keep practicing, get better. Later on, if you figure out it's bad, you can change it. Like we all started with like DFUBL, but now Jeff is FU so not too crazy.
And
I
Max
switched
went
to
from
FU.
DFUBL to
Oh yeah.
FUUFR to UFUFR.
He literally switched to UF instead of FU. Just like
That's probably like the easiest switch though, FU to UF.
yeah, you already know the Alex, but it's just like
you have to look at everything upside down, which is kind of strange.
Oh, so are we moving on to advanced techniques now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, so recently there's been, I'd say in the past 2 years, there's been a lot of like developments in blind. I remember when I was like obsessed with trying to do blind, like the two fastest people were just Taijun and Gianfranco,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were just doing like intuitive basic comms, and there wasn't too much crazy stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
But then now there's like so many fast people doing so many crazy tricks. So yeah, I just want you guys to like talk about the recent developments and some cool stuff that you do.
Well, I mean, I know about them, but I personally don't realize any of them in my solves. So all I can do is introduce you to them and talk about their benefits.
All right, go for it.
All right. So for parity swap, I'm guessing you're talking about full parity.
About what?
Full parity.
Oh no, that's just the like the normal like UR.
Oh, you mean the UVU also?
UFUB. UF no what? ULUB.
Yeah,
UF.
ULUB. Yeah, ULUB.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's also very important to learn. Yeah, like no one should ever use a parity alg, like M2 parity algs.
yeah, definitely start swapping as soon as possible.
And that will make your transitions way easier.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't know about it until like a couple months ago, and then I was like, whoa, that's so cool and so simple. Why did I not think of that?
Right. You can also do it for big blind. If you trace corners first, you can swap your wings. save a parity alg.
Oh, okay. And I'm pretty sure there's tutorials on Swap, right?
I think
Does Tim have one?
Tim has one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's kind of simple. You don't really need a tutorial. Just like pretend like solve them into the opposite piece.
Hmm.
They're also like so for advanced methods. There's like random stuff like this from white green. This that's ULB. That's the buffer. So it needs to go there, and then you have that twisted corner. So this like set of algs is called like LCLT, I think. Last corner, last twist. So if they're all in the U layer, it's just a ZBLL. So I like learned some easy ones. Those are
Oh,
really
wow.
helpful.
Have you ever used one in a solve?
I used one in an official four blind in May,
Jeez.
but I DNF the solve.
Okay.
I DNF by like centers.
All right. Yeah, so it seems a little risky for a big blind, but like at least you didn't DNF that part.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
so wait for Gabriel's question. It's not super crucial, but it will definitely help you. Like I think you should, just because then you'll start off with the best letter pairs.
All right, let's talk about some more advanced techniques. So like, what would be next in the? Let's try to go in order. What would be next in
Okay.
terms of like
So
complexity?
the easiest advanced technique is probably floating, and it's easy
Yeah.
if you already switched buffers in the past. Because
Okay.
like for me, if lots of people switch from DF to UF or DF to FU, you still know full three cell with DF, so it's easy to float to DF. Then there's also like random stuff like if you have a good understanding of comms, this is UB to FR to LF. Like you shouldn't like that should be a very obvious comm.
Oh yeah. So just picking up on those in MO would be the hard part.
Yeah, I don't use UFR, but I like to do stuff like this all the time. UFR, RDF, LDB. Just like whenever there's an easy eight mover float, sometimes you can just like come up with the comm on the spot.
But
So floating is relatively easy
yeah,
compared
but
to
like one thing that is pretty hard to keep track of though is just the orientation of your original buffer, and that determines whether you can float or not.
Oh, true, because there's no point in floating if it's twisted.
Yeah,
Or
because
split.
then it doesn't save an out.
Exactly.
It's probably doesn't save no.
So like when you get to the point where you're actively trying to float in your solves as just part of your normal solving habits, it's important to keep track of the orientation of your buffer. And sometimes that'll be easy because you can actually physically see it. Other times, because you have other cycle breaks, then it becomes a bit harder to keep track of. So that's something important to note.
And like I personally think floating is a bit overhyped. Like I remember there was a while where a lot of people were commenting on every video like, "Oh, did you float? Did you float? Did you float?" But then like we had to like blind ourselves to explain that no, you can't float every solve. It's only when like the buffer's solved, which for corners is only like a third of cycle breaks, and edges would be like half. Right?
Tim made like calculated how like the likelihood that you can float given that you know n extra buffers, and it's like kind of depressing because like if you know one extra edge buffer,
you can it's
float,
probably like 10%, right? That's my guess.
You can, something like that. You can float like 8% of the time, and then if you know like every extra buffer you know adds like 3%, which
my god.
Yeah. But I feel like it's definitely worth knowing at least like one extra buffer, because like just knowing one gets you from 0% to 10%, like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you don't need floating. Like even now, you can still hit towards sub 20 global without having to float. But definitely, it's something that getting comfortable with is definitely going to help. Mainly for just those times when you have an easy scramble that can be even easier, and when you have a ridiculously hard scramble that can be brought down to normal with floating.
Right, like Max Hilliard's competition yesterday, one of the extras was 8 algs, but with floating it would have been 7. So stuff like that. That's just like, yeah, he didn't get it obviously, but that would have been even better with floating.
All right. Okay, and a question kind of related to floating. Tebow is asking in the chat. Did you guys talk about how to choose the best piece to break at? So I'm assuming it means like cycle break and like which your order of breaking into new cycle.
Corners, I think what UBR is the best piece to break at.
So basically, one thing you should do is it takes a lot of work, but optimize all your algs, all your freestyle logs, time all of them, and then keep the times in like a spreadsheet. Which is I'm like I haven't finished that, but if once you keep all the times in the spreadsheet, then you can know like what's the average time for each sticker, and then break to the fastest one. And then also one plus of doing that is that because you've timed them, you should know like even if you're breaking in the middle of a cycle, like you have RU and then you have to break, then you'll just know what the fastest RU to XY is, and it's like FL or BL. This is with FU buffer. So do that, and then also so if you do that with UBL and UFR, you'll see that UBR is the fastest average set. So whenever you have to break to UBR, and then also simple stuff like UBL, UBR, and then you have to break to
like LBD.
Right, break to force one of the 8 movers.
Yeah. And I don't think it's like for most people, they're probably not going to be able to like have the dedication to make a whole sheet with like timing their algs. Because like even for me, I like I intuitively have a sense of like what's fast. So if I'm doing UF edges, I know like I usually always break first to like UB and then UR and then UL and then like DB and then like it's pretty easy to get a sense of like what pieces are good.
Yeah, those are the right pieces.
I personally don't have a set breaking order. Usually I just break to whatever unsolved piece is right next to what I'm looking at. Which I don't think that's optimal, but I've been doing that forever.
I don't know. The thing with that is you might not be saving time by like forcing better algs, but you might be saving time in terms of like looking around the cube. Because if you're doing something you're already looking at, that might save you like I don't know, a third of a second.
I mean, but at this point, like just from accidentally forcing terrible cases, I've just sort of like narrowed like usually if I encounter similar cases, I generally know how I'm going to break.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you've messed up so many times, you know what not to do.
Like I think it's actually better if you just don't follow a strict order and then just choose your best option that's right next to what you're already looking at.
Yeah, okay, that would be a good compromise between them. Jeff and Neil, are you guys switching to UFR?
Yes.
Maybe. Right now I'm applying to colleges, so I'm like pretty busy. That's why I'm not keeping as much. But I'm thinking winter break, I'll switch my 4-blind wing buffer, and then after that, in the lead up to Worlds and Nats, I might do another buffer switch.
By then, hopefully I'll be done with SAT.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Now parity algs.
Yeah, so that would be like I don't even know what to call it anymore. I'm not too good at the terms.
Wait, are you talking about full parity?
Not like full floating, which is what like the 500 algs, but just like the 20-ish algs per case.
Oh, that.
So say if someone's doing like UF
parity?
What?
Like the 21 alg OP parity?
The what parity?
Like the 21 alg OP parity?
What's that?
21 alg is UL UV12, just like old Bachman.
Oh yeah, or UFUR, depending on whatever you use.
Right, 21 algs.
So for UFR parity, Jake's list is very good. It's mostly J-Chrome setups, but UFR parity is way slower than UBL parity.
UBL?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is that? I wonder. Because like, have you guys like genned the algs for all of it, or is it just like setups to what we know?
I think it's because for UBL, one of the pieces is already on the U layer, and it's like in the back, so it's easy to set up to another U layer sticker, which is usually a good alg. Whereas with UFR, you get like UFR DBL, which is like, yuck.
Like-
and then
okay, I see.
Like you'll notice that UBL parity move counts are, I don't know exactly, but I think UFR move counts are generally like 4 moves higher, something like that.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
and also I think Ishan said a lot of it is just because UBL RDF with UL UB swap is just like a crazy easy case. And Ishan's saying like the reason UBL is like that much faster is just luck that that case happens to be
Like-
involved because you can set up to that case a lot of the time. All of the R sticker ones are nice because it's just a setup to that.
Yeah, I mean, some UFR parity cases are actually setups to UBL parity because that alg is so good.
Oh, was it just you two and then whatever?
Yeah,
Like,
some of them
like
are.
the UBL RDF parity alg, like the UFR alg for RDF is just U2 set up to that.
Oh wow, that's weird. So yeah, how many people do you think like you just use that? Like most people out of the fast blinders,
Use what?
Okay,
like that technique of solving parity, just like those like algs.
Swapping?
Yeah,
Everyone
swap
swaps.
into alg.
Everyone swaps except Gianfranco, pretty much.
So
like
does he just
Gianfranco and
like
Daniel. Yeah, Gianfranco and Daniel are the only people.
Oh yeah,
who-
Daniel.
crazy?
Yeah.
They don't need to swap. Yeah.
So forcing flips. Yeah, this is definitely an important technique to learn early on, even before you learn freestyle. Like,
Yeah. Okay. I just want to briefly describe the how to flip an edge with the comms. Let me figure out how to set it up first. Okay. So here we have actually it's kind of a bad case.
Oh, okay, wait. So my phone alarm just went off, so I have to go get the laundry. So
Okay.
you guys can keep talking about that. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
okay.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Wait. Let me find a good case to explain this on. Jeff, can you think of a good case to explain
Yeah,
the one that results in like 2 easy algs? I'm just like trying to.
two songs. Wait, I mean,
Yeah.
like this is something that people should do even if they don't know freestyle.
Yeah, but I just want to like show a good example
Yeah.
because right now I'm just doing stuff by hand to set up and I'm just getting gross cases.
Oh yeah, okay, I got one. Okay.
How do I set it up?
Okay, so do UF UR LF,
Okay.
and then do UF FL DR.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah. Okay, so here's the case. It's with FU or UF buffer. So with FU you have RB to UR, and then you have that flipped edge. So normally you'd have like you do the alg. Oh my god, I'm forgetting the alg. That's not it. There we go. We got so you do the alg and then you have like 2 edges to flip. So that's essentially 3 algs because you do the alg and then a 2 flip of edges is a combo of 2 comps. You're basically doing 3 comps. So one thing you can do is you break into the flip. So for example, here we have there, and then I'm going to break to there because that's a nice case. So FU, RB, LF. And then you have the other side of the sticker, which is FL, to the other side of the second sticker. So we had UR before. Now we have to do RU. So now we have FL, RU. So that way, it's 2 comps to solve the cycle, and and flip an edge. So it's just a bit tricky to think about because you have to remember to flip that last letter, but it's like always worth it.
Yeah. And you can do this even if you don't know freestyle. Just that'll save you from having to do a flip alg. So yeah, you would continue the cycle and then just. But I mean, actually, wait, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, you should do it just for the sake of being able to translate. But it's actually really only going to help when you get to freestyle.
Yeah, it is a long T-bow. I switched to it because I just couldn't turn with my GTS. So yesterday was my first comp with it, and it was pretty good. So I think I might continue to stay with it. My turning was pretty good last time. Oh, pre-moves. Pre-moves are not viable in 99.9% of cases.
Yeah.
Just don't do them.
Unless it literally solves like 5 pieces.
If your like L layer is solved but an L2 off, then maybe it's useful. It's just tracing gets really complicated, and you might just take 1 second extra to trace, which already like negates the benefits. And you're probably going to take more than 1 extra second to trace.
And then Pranav, please just use like Ishan's or Daniel's list.
Oh, hi Eva. I went yesterday. That's when all the blind stuff was. And then I'm just not going today.
Okay. So, also about the breaking into flips, you can also do that for corners, but that's really hard. Not many people do that.
Right, that's really hard because for edges, like the last target, it has to be like the other one. But for corners, there are 2 other ones, and you have to know which one it is, and that's difficult.
Okay, I'm back. What did I miss?
We're talking about advanced edge flip technique, and that's it.
Edge flip or edge float?
Edge flip.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hang on, let me show it again. Okay, so here from UF, we have BR to RU, and then we have that flip. So you can break into that flip by doing BR FL and then LF UR. You have to remember to flip that. It used to be RU, now we have to do UR. So with 2 comms, you solve that.
Oh, and that's the thing Tim made a video on a couple weeks ago, right?
I think
he did because I didn't know about it, and then I watched it. I was like, "Oh, that's smart," because he said like 2 comms is always faster than 1 comm and 1 flip.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that like Gianfranco was the guy who thought of this, and like he thought that was the most obvious way to solve flips when he started out doing blind.
I think the reason he thought that was the most obvious way is because like beginner methods usually have you do that. If you have like old Bachman, you'll just shoot to a corner and then shoot to it again.
Right. Yeah.
So if you kind of like do that like in a different order or in the middle of execution, then it kind of still works.
Yeah, it's basically the 3-style equivalent of that.
Yeah.
But, on flips though, if you have floating 2 flips, then you should definitely memorize the outs for those because they appear often enough that it's definitely worth learning all of them.
Yeah, like, basically the good flip method is learning full floating 2 flips, which is like 55 cases. So that's if you have 2 flips outside your buffer, and then if one of the flips is your buffer, or like meaning you only have 1 flipped edge and your buffer will be flipped, then do the break into the twist thing.
All right.
Actually, yeah. So it's pretty important to learn 2 flips floating two flips that are outside of your buffer. Like my 17.9, I had a floating two flip that I didn't know the alg for, and it took like 2.5 seconds to execute it.
Oh shoot! What did you? Which one was it?
Huh? On my 17.9.
No, like which?
Oh,
what
yeah.
flip was it?
Hang on. Yeah, let me set it up.
Wait, who had the first sub 20?
Kaijun, 18.5.
Yeah, so it was
The first sub
UL.
20 was 18.5.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it was UL to BR.
Oh no,
And
that's such an
I just
easy
did
case.
two comms I thought of, and they were pretty slow. Like each of them was more than a second probably.
Yeah.
That's such an easy case too.
Yeah.
It's so basically ULUR is a stupid fast case. It's so
Yeah.
fast. So that's just R prime set up to that.
Like I could have saved more than a second if I knew the out for that.
That's
so,
crazy.
Yeah.
Neil, why aren't you at Berkeley?
Yeah, I answered that.
Oh,
I
you
went
did?
yesterday. Yesterday was two rounds of 3-blind and multi, and then so I just went yesterday.
I see. Neil, is that a Huang Long?
Yep, it is.
Okay. Do you use that now?
So like my comp turning was just like really bad. Like I'd lock up all the time. So I wanted to get like a more stable cube.
Yeah.
So I heard like the Huang Long was like pretty good. So I got it, and then yesterday was the first comp where I tried it, and my turning was pretty good. So I think I'll
That's
stick
nice.
with it.
Yeah, I think the Huang Long is a decent cube. Like it's fast and the slices are nice. The only thing I don't like about it is the corner cutting. It feels kind of too the corner cutting is too snappy, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. One of the reasons the GTS is so good, I think, is that like the minor cuts are like no effort at all. They're just so
Yeah.
easy.
All
So I
right.
think
So
like
wait, did we talk
corner.
about did you do 2E yet?
No.
No, I don't think either of us does it that much.
Yeah, I mean, like the best you can do for 2E is just know some rules about forcing them to be about finding good cases for them, which actually I don't remember. We'll have to actually ask Gianfranco about that. I mean, like the best you can do is just knowing some cases, but otherwise there's nothing more than that.
Yeah, it's just Alex.
Yeah.
I think the first time I heard about it was when I heard about like Gianfranco's DNF at Worlds, where he got like an H firm or something. He set up to an H firm. So I thought it was just like something like a one-time thing, but no, it turns out you can just like swap two edges whenever you want.
I mean, well, 2E is definitely really good for multi-blind, like as a parity method.
Right.
So
yeah so there's one.
Tim has a video on it.
Yeah, and there's one like base case that's really nice to know. Like so DF, DR, UL, UV, S prime, M prime, U, M, U2, S, U. It's like
What?
8 moves or something. Yeah. So that's like a nice case to know if you use DF. It's useful like if you have to UL, UV swap and they're solved, then you basically have to do like DR, UV, UL, UV to swap them. So you can just do that alg. I don't know the right trick, but I think it's like 0.5 if you do the right trick, the finger trick.
Cool. Anything else in terms of advanced methods or techniques? I just wrote down what I could think of, but you guys know more than me.
That's like the important stuff, really.
So for advanced finger tricks, basically you just have to know how to finger trick with like every finger and being able to do everything. That takes a lot of work, but it's so worth
it. You guys, look at my M2.
Nice.
Yeah, Tim has videos on how to properly finger trick M2s.
Yeah, Max made them. Yeah, so the important ones to know are Ishan's M2, and you should be able to mirror all of these. So wide R, R prime, M prime. And then if you're in this grip with thumb on top, use Gianfranco's M2, so R prime, M prime, then wide R. And then if you're in thumb on bottom, do like massive, which is R, and then like you grab that. So an example in an alg is like for UF, BR, GB.
I've never seen this one before. This is cool.
Yeah, maxes. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Would that be for like RUD algs?
RUD?
I mean, what am I saying? That's not even edge alg. MDR.
MDR. I don't know of any MDR algs that have an M2 in them. But some RUM cases. Also, there are RUD edge comms. Let me find a case.
RUD edge cones?
Yeah,
It's not a
they're set
comp.
up to
It's just an
U-frames.
alg. Yeah, it's just an alg. So like UF, DF, UL. It's D to U firm, which makes it an RUD alg.
Oh, what?
So
Okay,
some,
Keon, I think I have to go kind of soon. So if there's anything about big blind and multi, can we do that like now?
Oh, how soon is kind of soon?
Like 10 minutes or so.
Okay. You can just talk about big blind multi, whatever you think is relevant or you think that you know well about.
Okay. So I guess I'll start with four blind. Definitely okay. So definitely a U layer buffer sticker is the best for for centers. I use UBL, but no one's really sure what is the best UBL like out of any of the four because it's hard to know. I use it for the reasoning that you can easily insert to all four E-layer centers. So you can insert to like the top right one, and then the bottom right one with RU to R prime, then the top left one with R prime U2R, and then the bottom left one with R prime UR. So because of that, you
Okay.
could.
Yeah, I see.
So you can also do the same with UFL, but I chose UVL because that's my corner buffer. So a lot of algs transfer. That makes it easy. And then for wings, I don't think there's a consensus on what the best buffer is. I'm going to be switching to FUR, but I'm not 100% sure it's the best. FUR
What do you
meaning
use
like
right now?
DFR.
Ooh, okay.
Because like, yeah, from M2. And then I think again, there's not really consensus on this, but I feel that memoing corners, wings, centers, then executing in reverse is the best. So you memo corners, that way you know if you have parity, that you can swap for wings to save a parity alg, and then audio centers. Then just like execute centers, wings, corners.
Right, so it's the
Okay,
same
yeah.
like concept as three blind.
Right, yeah. And yeah, some certain three blind algs will not be as useful on four blind, like let's see. Yeah, this one. So this is UF BR UR on three blind. So U prime R prime E2R. That's not as great on four blind, obviously, because that's not as great. So for stuff like that, it might be good to rotate and do it LUM.
Could you rotate the other way too?
To make it DRM, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't, because I'm still using DFR, so I haven't
Oh,
optimized
true.
that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
much.
yeah. I
But
see.
when I switch, I'll like start thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Israel Fraga has a list that seems to be pretty good. He said he got every alg sub 2, average of 5, which is very good.
Oh, wow. How many algs is a four blind solve on average?
Tim did some calculations. I think average is like 24 point something. Yeah, so 24 point something. And then, yeah, so my first NAR, the 207, was like absurdly lucky. It was 21 Alex,
Oh wow.
which I think it's still the easiest scramble I've ever gotten. Kind of like Jeff's 19, similar situation.
Wait, Jeff, how many Alex was your
And then
19?
the second one was 23 Alex, so like one less than average.
Oh, mine R was 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everything's always eight Alex.
Like,
I'm saying, yeah, similar situation because like both of us got overall PVs by a lot that were NARs.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I don't like getting 8 out scrambles. Like, a good 9 is like the easiest scramble I'll get that I'll perform my best at. If I get 7 or 8 Alex, there's no way I'll be able to turn fluid.
Oh yeah.
It's super easy to choke.
Yeah, like half of my 17s are on 10 plus Alex. So
Jeez.
I actually have a similar thing at home. At home, I only have 4 17s. One of them's on 8 Alex. 2 of them are on 9 Alex. And one of them's on 7 Alex. So I have more on 9 Alex than I do on like 8 and 7.
The only thing I'm wondering for four blind is like, are there any specific like tricks or techniques that are like completely different from what people do in three blind?
Tim has a really good video on this. Advanced like center tricks and advanced. He has I think there are 2 videos specifically about big blind. About let me try to think of one. Yeah, so you can like avoid cycle breaks. So if you have I don't know how to set up the case, but if you have like you end up going to there and then that's a white sticker, that would mean you would have to cycle break. So instead of shooting to there because you hit a green piece, you can just shoot to there. So temporarily go out of order to avoid the white piece. And then next time you get a green piece, use that. He explains it really well in the video. You can save Alex because you don't have to cycle break.
I see. Since like all the greens are solved, you just leave the buffer to the end, to the last screen.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So that way, because otherwise, if you had that and then you hit white, you'd have to cycle break and then like eventually finish that off.
Yeah.
That's good. And then he covers a few other tricks. Oh yeah, 2E, 2E, or 2 center, 2C, 2C. So, like for that, we're like a bar there, a bar there. Little R2, little E2, little R2, little E2.
Oh, that's like what people do when they mess up parity.
Is it? Oh, I
R4
didn't know
and
that.
4, like first sighted. Because it's like
Oh, right.
the parity. That's similar to the parity alg.
So that's nice. Yeah, you can set up to that if you have like a bar here and then a bar here. You can just like B prime set up to that, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. And then what about multi? You have any thoughts you'd like to share on that?
Watch Graham and Mark's seminar that they did at Nats. That was really good. Tim has a good video on the method of loci or loci. I still need to check how to pronounce that. Those are really good. Basically, once you get started with that method, optimize your letter pairs so that you like remove duplicates. Okay. So I found a site that said it's loci, but Graham recently told me it's loci, so I'm not sure.
Because like it's based off the word like location or something like that. So
yeah,
I always called it like low-key.
So it's really important after every multi-attempt to figure out why you DNF. Because I think, as Graham said in the seminar, you could just be doing the same mistakes over and over and just never know. Like I had a friend who was like just doing parity wrong every time he got parity, and he just didn't know because he never reconstructed his DNFs. So he's consistently getting like n over 2 over n, like exactly like or close to half, and he just didn't realize that it was because he was doing parity wrong, which occurs half the time, right?
Oh my god.
So yeah, once he realized, it was like I think at West Champs he got like half again, and then he's like, wait a minute, he figured it out, next attempt you got like 8 out of 8 or something like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so just figure out why you're DNFing. Could be just a dumb thing that you're doing. Like it could be like maybe you have this alg that you think you know, but you have the direction wrong, and you just even in like 3-blind, you're just doing it wrong every time and DNFing. So maybe it could be like something dumb like that where it's just figure out why you're DNFing. If you DNF because you like recalled 2 letter pairs that you like since you have 2 similar ones, then after the attempt fix them, clarify them. Yeah, you're gonna improve a lot just from reconstructing DNFs because you're never gonna make that mistake again.
All right. Got anything else to say about multi, or you're pretty good there?
Yeah, not really.
All right. So you said you gotta go, right?
Yeah.
All right. It was nice
Yeah.
having you. Nice talking to you.
Yep.
We learned a lot. So yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, see you, Jeff. See you, Keon.
Bye.
Neil.
All right.
Okay,
So
so-
we'll still be here for a while.
Yeah.
Couple more things to talk about.
Yeah. Hardware. I mean, yeah, that's really subjective. Of course. Generally, a good 3-blind cube is whatever you feel, which is like pretty typical. But I mean, if you're trying to push yourself, generally the stable cube is not the best. Just because you need to, like, blind requires really high TPS, just because you're doing so many more moves than in a 3x3 solve. So just having a flexible cube usually is going to be pretty good. Like for slower people, they might prefer a stable cube just because there's always the possibility of messing up. But like for all of you, I definitely recommend just trying some more flexible cube like a GTS and just seeing how that feels for your turning. So when you get faster, that's definitely a possibility you should consider. Yeah,
all right. I think like watching all the like the eight man relays and stuff from Nats, it's just like GTS one, GTS one, GTS one,
Yeah.
GTS one, GTS one M, GTS 2M, GTS one, GTS one.
Yeah.
What did you use at Nats?
A GTS.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then now, did you switch completely GTS 3?
Yeah, I switched to a GTS 3.
Nice.
And then Max isn't switching to one. I'm not sure if he likes the GTS 3 more, but he uses black or yellow, so he's not going to switch unless there's a stickered version.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you could make one.
Yeah. Stickers would be really weird though.
What?
The stickers would be pretty weird though.
For what?
But the GTS 3.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, no, that's weird because I was thinking you could just take a black cube and replace like take the cube apart, but there is no black cube.
Yeah.
Because you know how like some people take like a stickerless cube and a black plastic cube and they swap some of the pieces.
Yeah, and then for magnetic or non-magnetic, it is personal preference, but I mean, a lot of binders choose not to use a magnetic cube just because slices are easier to deal with, and like you should definitely try both and just see which one you can do your outspitter on.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then for competing, in terms of dealing with nerves, yeah, blind is very nerve-wracking because it does require a lot of concentration.
And if you mess up, it's over. DNF. Can't really fix it.
One thing I recommend is that if the competition venue or just the competition itself is pretty quiet on its own, then I recommend that you don't use earmuffs. Mainly because your heartbeat might actually get really more distracting than if there was an audience or just any sort of stray noise. Like I would prefer just having that white noise in the background than having my heartbeat just be deafening. So you should give that a try. But in terms of dealing with nerves, I mean, in general, like, as long as you keep improving. I mean, this in general applies to all other events. It's just that your current results aren't really going to matter. So it doesn't really matter what you get now. Just remember that you'll keep improving. So even if you do badly now, it's like when you keep improving, you're not going to care about your current results later. And
Makes sense.
yeah, like
Have you ever had to like, I don't know, turn slowly or memo slowly in order to like not mess up, other than just like safety solves? Which is like, oh, you started getting nervous. You're like, okay, I'm gonna like go slow.
okay, on the topic of safetying, you should probably like a good safety solve that pretty much that increases your success rate the most is just not going too slow. Like if you go way slower than what you're used to,
You're gonna forget everything.
you'll probably DNF just because you'll be forgetting everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just go slower than normal. Don't review too much. Like, you don't want to spend too much time doing memo because the more time you do memo, the more nervous you're going to get. Like just like take a little bit of a leap of faith. Just trust that you'll remember something. Like that's what rushing in competition is basically. Like you're not actually sure that you're going to remember everything, but there's no way you'll be able to get fast results if you just don't do it. So it's important that you just trust that you're going to remember something. And yeah, and then just keep improving. Like just generally Gianfranco's outlook on competitions is just something that's been helping me a lot. It's just like official compositions. I mean, they are just for fun, and that your current results aren't going to matter later.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Like those are the two things I just keep in mind all the time. Like
Okay.
it's just for fun. It's just for fun.
Yeah, a lot of people try to do that. It's really hard to kind of drill that in, though.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to just rushing, yeah, you just have to take a leap of faith. When it comes to safetying, generally, I'm going to try not to safety on the third solve, even if I have 2 DNFs. If it's a pretty easy scramble, I'm going to go for it. At least I try. But in general, I mean, occasionally I've gotten really nervous just from being traumatized by triple DNFing first round comps, like first rounds. But it's important not to let that get to you. And like, just one way you can do that is, I mean, doing it a little slower, going a little slower. And so to the point where you're not rushing and you're just going at a relaxed pace. And then slow turning, like Neel said earlier.
Yeah, so it's not like a full safety, just like a let's not mess it up.
Yeah. I mean, like I've broken a PB on my third solve after 2 DNFs before, so.
Yeah, might as well try for it.
Yeah.
And then for you personally, has there ever been like situations where you were like super nervous and then you like fixed it somehow or you like completely messed up either side of the spectrum?
Okay. Actually, I'm going to talk about both Nats, I guess.
Okay.
So back in Nats 2017, on the first solve, I got a 20.8, which happened to be the winning solve. At that point, I didn't really have any expectation. My goal was to get a podium. So there were a few strategies I could, because I wasn't sure, because there were 5 people who could have podiumed, like 5 people who are at that level. And so my options were to rush really hard. So it's either podium or just triple DNF, or just go at a normal speed, which would get me results, but it might not get me podium. And in the end, I just decided to go at a normal speed, and there happened to be a pretty easy scramble, which I managed to get a 20 on. But like in terms of dealing with nerves, I think it's really important that you don't do too many solves right before your attempts. Like I was actually surprised how well I was able to handle my nerves at Nats 2018. And part of that is just staying relaxed for a pretty large period of time before the competition, like before you compete. It's important to not stress about practicing and like just enjoy nats. And well, making sure that your hands are warm. That's also part of it. But yeah, like this doesn't exclusively apply to blind, but it's
Yeah,
like
it's just
also
every event.
not stressing out period beforehand.
For sure.
And you know, exercising helps too.
Yeah, Salt Lake City venue was cold.
Yeah, it was way too cold.
And I don't think like the middle of the room was hot, but then when you would get to the edges of the walls, which is where the competitor area was, and you'd feel like the AC kick in, like out of the walls.
Yeah. But also another big part of controlling my nerves is just talking to Ishan just for a while before, and like just talking about your issues with someone else. Like, yeah, that just lets you just release all your stress.
Okay, I've actually never heard anyone talk about that before.
Yeah, like just talking to Ishan just over lunch about just how nervous I was for 3-blind finals. Like that just made me feel so much better.
All right, I'll have to try that.
Especially since Ishan understands pretty well, so. Yeah, talking to other people is also very important.
Yeah. All right, do you have any other thoughts on competing?
I mean, it's just for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we just have future. So if you just look at the notes, it's just any upcoming comps you have, goals for buffers, techniques you want to start using, comps, podiums, records.
Well, basically, in terms of techniques, everything we discussed in this video, I should probably start doing.
Probably.
I mean, because I don't fully implement all of them. For upcoming comps, I'll be going to DFW Cubing Fiesta September next week, which is in Dallas. And Max will also be there, and he's been practicing really hard, so there is a very real possibility that he'll break either world record at the next competition, so be out on the lookout for that. And in terms of goals, well, hopefully I'll be able to just find more time and motivation to get back into cubing, because I just like stopped doing stuff after Nats.
After Nats, I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, just this huge slump.
Yeah.
But I felt worse in my cubing career before, and like definitely, like I've considered quitting.
Oh yeah, everyone has.
Yeah, but definitely that's not something I want to do.
You can't really get to this level without like quitting a couple times.
Yeah, I don't want to look like Ishan, so. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
All right. What else did I write down there? Oh yeah, what about you, like personally in life?
Can you repeat?
Do you have any like future goals for life, like personally? I heard you talk about SATs. So, what schools you looking at? What you want to study?
Okay, definitely somewhere in CS, something like that.
Okay.
But right now, my main goal is 1560 on SAT, so that's pretty ambitious, to be honest, like with my current scores right now. But definitely something I'm going to keep working towards. So that'll be taking out of my cubing time.
It's a fair goal. Good thing to take cubing time away.
Like, I'm really not sure about colleges. Like, I've just been thinking about my reach colleges, but like, I don't actually like. I'm not sure about what college I would realistically go to. So I'll have to think about that a bit more.
Yeah, you have some time to figure that out.
Yeah.
You're still young. Meanwhile, I'm already here, getting old already.
Okay.
So this deal looks different from Nats. Okay.
I think people look pretty different without their glasses on. Okay. I'm just gonna look for some questions in the chat.
Yeah. And then the last thing for future is, do you have any predictions for where world records are going to end up? Maybe in the next, like, by the end of the year, by the end of next year.
Okay, by the end of the year, definitely sub 20 mean for blind. Like, I'm fairly certain that's going to happen because
people have freaking like 17 means and like 18 averages of 12.
When I was using UBL, I was about mid 20 global. And like so, sub 20 means are pretty common. And now that Max has been practicing really hard, I think he might be sub 20 global, and Jake is sub 20 global.
Yeah,
So,
he's been that for a while.
yeah. And so really, it's just a matter of competing a lot. Like that's the strategy my dad used.
Yeah.
So, and then in terms of single, maybe sub 17 by the end of the year, but that would require like a decent 9 out scramble.
Or a 7 or a 5.
Yeah. Ooh, like if it's better than 9, then usually it'll be pretty hard to do well on it.
Yeah, the problem with blind for
Yeah.
single is that if it's easy, you know it's easy the moment you like 3 seconds in.
Yeah.
It's not like 3x3 where you could just like not be nervous at all, turn really fast in F2L and get an LL skip. Like you can't do that.
That's what I miss about being slow. Like you couldn't really tell how good a scramble was. So no matter how easy it was, you just still did your best.
Well. Yeah. Like I'm still kind of bad because I can't really figure out when something's really easy.
Mhm.
If I see solved pieces, I'm like, sure. If I see there's like 2 corner algs, okay, I'm like, all right, this is slightly better than usual. But I can't really like count algs in my head while I'm memoing.
Mhm.
I'll just like realize I didn't have a cycle break and there's no twist, and I'm like, oh, this is decent.
I mean, to be honest, I don't actually know. Like, all I can do is just it felt like this many outs.
Oh, okay.
No one remembers their edge memo from afterwards.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a matter of time, but yeah, I'm pretty sure blind world records will get broken by the end of the year. And actually, like, I made a time capsule with like a goals time capsule with like.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah. So like we made it back in January of this year, and we're just going to see what like if we met any of our goals or not. Yeah. And like because we made that because we had made goals before and we just smashed them so easily. Like because like with it like get this fast within a certain time frame, and then we end up being twice as fast by the end.
Jeez.
So yeah, because generally we've been pretty conservative with our goals, so we're just going to see how they are. Like I don't even remember what my goals were, but
you'll figure out at the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll figure out by 2019.
Which one of this is a good question. Which one of the Lins is better at 3 blind?
Daniel.
Yeah.
I mean, Kaijin is consistent and he's accurate, but Daniel is just faster. And then I guess I'll just answer some of the other questions here.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Oh, I guess. Wait, can you post the 3-style trainer link in the description? Oh, wait, it's already in the description.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so if you're looking for the trainer program, it's in the description of this video.
So this is Brandon Lin for the fastest Lin.
Okay, I'm using freestyle OP, but memo sucks. I average 35 for memo, but I always forget it. My last comp was 1.5 weeks ago. How can I improve my memo? That's just practice. Just keep pushing it, even if your success rate drops. Okay. And then what's your advice on getting a decent official mean? You shouldn't ever aim for a mean. That's just something that should be a result of you just trying to get your successes. Like, I don't think it's a good idea to get an okay mean, but if you're only concerned about getting a mean, like without trying to get the best you can be, then I guess just don't rush too much. But I mean, if you want to get the best mean you possibly can, then that's not something that you should actively be concerned about. You should just be concerned with each solve on its own. And if you happen to get a success 3 times, then that's great. But it's something that you shouldn't just aim for on its own.
Yeah, I don't think there's a point in getting like a bad if you average like 25, there's no point in like safetying a 40 mean. Like it's not good.
And to be honest, like on my 20.3 mean, I guess I did safety my last solve.
Okay, at that point, it's like a record as well.
But I mean, if you're trying to get the best mean you can, then
you just have to do like normal solves.
Like it just has to you can't force it because
Yeah.
like there's no way you can guarantee a mean. That's just not a thing.
Yeah.
So, and then are you sub 20 global? No, at my peak I was 20.4, but hopefully I'll be sub 20 by the end of the year.
After UFR.
Yeah, once I'm fluent with that. And I guess that's it.
Yeah, then we're just done with the talking part and questions. So yeah, you can't really race Neil right now, and let's not race me because I don't think I can do a solo.
Okay.
So want to
Okay.
just do a meet on cam. I want to see this.
A me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll just hand scramble the stack.
Do you find that? Wait, how bad's your vision?
It's really bad.
How bad?
The furthest I can look at something without it being like perfectly, I think it's 6 inches.
That's like similar to me.
Yeah.
Do you know your prescription?
Huh?
Do you know your prescription?
I think it's like -2, something like that.
Oh, what the heck? Mine's like -6.
Oh. But it's just been getting worse.
Oh, okay.
It's just worse and worse.
Do you ever find it weird to like memo without glasses on?
No, because I mean, like you don't actually have to read anything.
Yeah, it's just colors.
and shapes.
True.
Like maybe I would be more comfortable if I wore contacts. But
Yeah, I'm wearing contacts now, and I find blind to be a bit cooler because I can see what I'm doing.
But I mean, I haven't had contacts in a while, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try that later.
Yeah, try it out.
Like, I don't. It's definitely not going to make
you faster. Might make it look better though when you're memoing.
I mean, yeah, I do look pretty scrunched now, so I guess that's something I should try. Okay. Okay. 2707.
UF, right?
Yeah, UF UFR.
Yeah, just making sure.
Like that was 6 prime corners, so I didn't suffer too much. Okay, I don't know. Yeah.
What case is it?
It's UFR RDF to BLU.
RDF to what?
RDF to BLU.
BLU.
Oh, that's just the 8 mover. So.
Oh, wait, 8 mover for this?
Like the rotation, and then I think. Yeah.
DFR BLU?
No, RDF to BLU.
RDF to BLU.
Otherwise, that would have been a really good scramble. No parity.
Oh, okay, I see now.
Like, if it was UBL, then I think that would have been a 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, 2664.
All right. Not too terrible.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually more successes I got just now than I did in all of my 50 attempts yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do more on stream.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of,
The thing
remember the
is,
time?
though, like with switching to UFR, I also have to just learn new twist algs
Oh yeah.
because instead of UBL now I have to do UFR. So I just had to think of the algs. So that was pretty awkward, but yeah. Yeah.
I just remember that one time Max was streaming on CF
Mhm.
and he couldn't get a success for like 20 minutes. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I remember.
He was just like at this big table and it was like night and he was so tired. He was like, guys, I can't do this. That was funny.
So is that it?
Yeah, I guess, unless you have anything else to say, looks like we're basically done here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being on the
It
stream.
was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Hopefully people learned some stuff about blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll end the stream now.